If I had nothing and I had to start over, build my baby registry today, not as a first-time mom, but as one knowing what I know, here's what I would get. And I just want to preface this by saying I'm not showing you everything you could buy. I'm showing you everything that I would buy. There's a difference there. This is what I would actually choose. So first of all, I'm going to say let's start with transportation. When you have your baby at the hospital or anywhere, you got to drive them around in a car. They need a car seat. So I would get a infant car seat. I would go that route again. I know some people like to start with a convertible car seat. Now, with experience, I have learned like it's not great to leave them in the infant car seat all the time. That's why like I do not recommend the Doona. But people often recommend get the convertible car seat and get a stroller that's like a bassinet style where they can lay flat. It's up to you on that, but I would get an infant car seat again. I do know that, and I would get a stroller again. Ideally, one that the car seat clips into, to be completely honest. I probably would do that again. Aside from that, for kind of travel, transportation vibes, I would do a Moby wrap. I do think I would get one of those again. And I would get a diaper bag. Do you have to have one? No. But if I was going to have another baby, start over again, I don't regret my diaper bag, and I would get one. Now for feeding, based on what I did with my first two kids, I would go so minimal, it's not even funny. And if I needed things later, I would get them. So this would be a wait and see kind of situation. Right off the top, I would get a nursing cover because I do like a nursing cover. I'm a breastfeeding mama. And I would get a nipple balm. Aside from that, I would consider nursing bras and like pads to put in your bra to catch like leakage. But I would go so stinking minimal. And then if I, for any reason, was struggling, I would get bottles, I would get formula, I would get other things. But I didn't really enjoy pumping. I didn't really enjoy like collecting milk in the haka per se. Like I was more of just be with my baby, feed my babies, and have that year with them. Now sleep, I'm a little more heavy-handed. So for sleep, I honestly like my babies in the crib from day one. So I would do crib mattress, mattress protector, sheets, and then I would do swaddles, like Velcro swaddles. I would do the Hatch nightlight and sound machine. We did that with our other kids, and I would get another one. I would do it again, and I would do a baby monitor. Okay, up to you if you're in the room with them, if they're in your room, but I would go ahead and get a baby monitor because we definitely used our monitor over the years. It was well worth having in our opinion. Diapering, I'm pretty minimal. I would get diapers, wipes. I already said the diaper bag would travel, and then I would get the diaper caddy. And I know it's like, well, what are you putting in the caddy if all you're getting is diapers and wipes? I'm okay with it just holding diapers and wipes and just keeping them in there tidy. I like that. The things I would consider next or hold off and wait on, but like potentially need, depending on my baby, would be diaper rash cream and the bum brush, like the little spatula. I did have those with my kids. I just didn't use them much. My kids were really lucky and did not get diaper rash. So that's why I put it as a wait and see. Like if I had another baby, I probably wouldn't be like must have. I'd be like, yeah, we didn't use that much. So for me, it's a wait and see item. Clothing. So first of all, I haven't mentioned it yet, but secondhand is okay. We bought a secondhand crib. All right, just saying. But clothing is definitely a department for secondhand. I would take hand-me-downs. I would go shop at secondhand clothing stores, garage sales, what have you. For a newborn, I would get sleepers, and that's pretty much it. I would get sleepers for every size all the way up, to be honest. Like if I was buying ahead, I would get gender neutral basic sleepers because they're going to get used. Like period. End of discussion. They're 100% going to get used. Then as I'm looking to get more outfits, newborn wouldn't get outfits. Even 0 to 3 months, not a lot of outfits. But I would get things that similar to a sleeper, like a romper, where it's a one-piece outfit. Really nice, okay? Like you don't have to match sets. You don't have to worry about this, that, and the other. I don't love it when you put pants and a shirt on a little one and the shirt rides up. And like I like onesies that either snap like between their legs or just go with the romper. One piece, it stays on and looks nicer in my opinion. So I would go minimal on clothing, a lot of gender neutral, and then, you know, always accessorize or, you know, get them more gender specific later on as they get older. I feel like it doesn't really matter with babies. All right, so right off the top of my head, I have 4 of those kind of like random in-between items. So I would get pacifiers. I would get a 2-pack. That's literally it at first. See if they take a passy. I would get bird claws. I used receiving blankets, like square receiving blankets, and I would fold them and put them on my shoulder. For like nursing, kind of like as a bib, I would like sometimes tuck it under their chin, and then when I burp them, you know, having a bird cloth. I would do a quilt for on the floor for like tummy time and just, you know, floor time, which we had quilts given to us. I wouldn't necessarily register for that, but we did have quilts, so that would be on my list. And then I probably would go ahead and get them a body wash, like a wash and shampoo combo for in the bathtub. And I'd get one with a hand pump on it because that way, you know, it's a little easier when you're managing a little itty bitty baby. Wouldn't get things like towels and washcloths. No, I would just use what we already have. There are some things that I did get for my first that I would not get again because it just wasn't really necessary and it was perfectly fine to live without. The other thing that I would consider, and you may not want to do this on your baby registry, but even on a minimalistic registry, I would want to get things that I know I'm going to need and use. So I would get a booster seat for in the kitchen, and I would also get a travel booster seat. We didn't get this, but I think it is a highly, highly underrated item. So double booster seats. And then I would go ahead and get things for in the kitchen like a silicone bib, plates, and utensils. And I would not do plastic plates. I would do something like aluminum. I did plastic, and yeah, I kind of regret making that decision, but you live and you learn. Now, as I just said with the, towels and washcloths, I didn't put everything on here you could possibly buy. That's the point. This is my minimalistic. If I was doing it again with the experience I have, I'm a mom of two. I nannied for about 9 years, and my mom ran an in-home daycare. I've been around the block, seen a lot of kids, and realized how little they actually need, and how the fewer items you have as the mom or the care provider, the easier life is. The more things you have, the more things you have to manage, clean, take care of, restock, refill, all the things. It's okay to pause on things and consider them once babies arrive. You can always get more stuff. All right, it's not a big deal, but start with the essentials and the 100% guaranteed to use items. If you like baby content like this, check out my channel. I've got a ton more videos telling you what to get and what to skip.